Welcome back to my garden. My name is Robin. I garden in Zone 6 in Northwest Connecticut. I'm going to try and make this short. It's very windy. They're mowing. But this week I wanted to try to show you some things you can do to have great fall color. So whether it's, sedums, asters, garden mums, heirloom mums, fall is such an amazing time. Plus, don't forget, you can keep planting. Now, we're actually going to have our first frost tonight. Thursday night. So this is going to post on Friday. So we're going to have our first frost, which is pretty timely for where I am in Northwest Connecticut. But I've already started moving stuff in the greenhouse. I've already started digging some stuff up. This weekend, I'm probably going to be pulling all my annuals because what would be the point? Unfortunately, I still have a lot of dahlias that have not really done a lot. And some of my heirloom mums are not open yet. So I'm really hoping things are going to survive the frost. And if you think I'm talking weird in these videos this summer, I am, because I got Invisalign braces and I'm not always used to them. So I always feel like I'm slurring my words. So if any of you out there can sympathize, sorry if I sound like, I have a mouthful of marbles sometimes. So let's take I've been shooting this video in bits and pieces to try and capture things as they're actually blooming. So let's see what we've got for fall 2025. So this week, what I wanted to talk about is sedums, asters, and hybrid and heirloom mums. So we're going to start with the sedums. Feel free to jump around in this video. If there's something you're not interested in sedums, jump to the asters. You're not interested in asters, jump to the different kinds of mums. Whatever works for you. Sedums, typically really a must, I think, in the fall garden. I have autumn joy. And I did Chelsea chop this to try to control the height so it doesn't flop over as much. And I try not to cut these back. They look great in the wintertime, and I'm going to pop a picture to show you what they look like covered in snow. But if you don't cut them all the way back, it does protect the crown. And I find I don't cut that back until, late winter, because it helps protect the new growth that's there. And you can see right behind it, I have some gorgeous oak leaf hydrangeas there. Autumn Joy gets pretty tall, and there are a lot of smaller varieties also. And I have a bunch in my garden. I'm trying to do this video as things are blooming. So I'm trying to stagger, like when I'm taking these shots, so I can actually show you things in bloom, what they actually are looking like right now. So you might ask, why do I want to plant sedums? Well, they're drought-tolerant perennials, which is awesome. So they don't require a lot of attention. They have long-lasting flowers in late summer and in autumn. They're adored by the bees and the butterflies. Some of them have been renamed. Some of the sedums have been renamed, and I won't even try not to say it wrong. It's like Hylotelephium. So I gather split the names of some of the sedums based on, some have broad flat leaves and are like flat topped. I don't know, it's very confusing. I still call them all sedums. Now I do have a couple of sedums that I cannot get into the bed right now. There's so many weeds around it. So one of them is Rock and Grow Coral Jade sedum. This is a really beautiful stone crop, if that's what you want to call sedums. Rich green leaves topped by like a citron green bud that opens to a soft coral pink later in the season. Forms a really beautiful dome of flowers. Zones 3 through 9 This gets to be about 16 to 18 inches tall. And you could also use it in a container if you wanted to. Again, it blooms late summer through fall. Very easy, average soil. Can handle acidic soil, alkaline soil, whatever. It could be a cut flower, it could be a border plant, landscape plant, do mass plantings of it. So this is one that I have. So the next one that's kind of buried in one of my beds is Rock and Grow Lemon Jade. And again, this one also starts out with those bright yellow blossoms, but rather than that typical, like pink, it has yellow seed heads that take on kind of like a rosy peach tone in cold winter. Again, compact mounded habit. Again, same zones, 3 through 9, gets 16 to 18 inches. That's pretty typical of this whole Rock and Grow series from Proven Winners. And again, very easy to grow, but something for a nice different color, something to consider. This little sedum is a Seboldii. The common name is October Daphne Stonecrop. It's very small, only like 6 inches tall or whatever. It spreads 12 to 18, zone 3 through 9. Variegated, full sun. Has a nice little yellow flower, attracts butterflies and bees. Rabbit resistant, which, the sedums are great for that, obviously. It's kind of a slow grower. It's good for a border plant because it stays nice and low, which is kind of nice, but really pretty different foliage than your typical large, autumn joy kind of sedums. Really pretty perennial for fall. This is Dragon's Blood sedum, and it's hardy down to zone 3. But it only gets like 4 to 6 inches tall, so great succulent green leaves, edged in dark cranberry, covered with vivid red starry flowers in late summer. The foliage turns crimson with the arrival of cool weather. Great ground cover, bee friendly, attracts butterflies and birds, and deer resistant. Let me show you some of the darker colored ones. This one is still, this one is still green here. But let's zoom out to some of the darker ones. There's one over there, if I can get out of my shadow. There you go. I think you can see that pretty well. Here's a couple more close-ups. I love the detail on sedum. They're just so pretty. So some are still greener than others, but my idea was that it would really carpet around this cherry tree. This is Rock and Grow Tiramisu. Beautiful bronze leaves, a nice kind of dome-shaped habit. I have it kind of crunched in this planter, so it does have pink buds. Only gets like 18 to 20 inches tall, zones 3 through 9. So I have this in a planter, and right here behind it is where I moved the roses, and you can see they're really suffering. The 2 knockout roses I pulled out. My zinnias and my cosmos were full of aphids, so I pulled them out. And, unfortunately, after, all that work at growing flowers, kind of a shame to have to pull them out at this point, but we did put in roses here. And the last one, and I just added 3 of these, and they were blooming when I put them in, but I don't know, they're not blooming right now. So this is called Rockin' Low Yellow Brick Road. Really pretty ground cover for sunny, dry areas. Fine textured yellow flowers cover the dark green leaves and the red stems. And I put these under my 9 barks. I think it'll really complement the color of the 9 barks. It blooms a little late, but that's nice to extend, the display in your garden for sure. Again, zones 3 through 9, which is pretty typical of most of the sedums. These only get 6 to 8 inches tall, which is nice. Again, they can handle pretty much any soil. Good border plant, good container plant. This aster is Raiden's favorite. Gorgeous, essential fall blooming perennial in my garden. Showy violet blue flowers attract butterflies and bees, all sorts of pollinators. Very easy to grow, deer resistant, rabbit resistant, good for cut flowers, really long extended bloom time, great for mass plantings, loves full sun, 24 to 36 inches tall, 12 to 24 inches wide. Let me tell you, it's way bigger than that in my garden. I actually had to just cut it back, seriously cut it back, because it was taking over the entire front edge here of the bed. It was all the way out here. It was falling over here into Lady of Shalott. So I really hacked it back. And believe it or not, I did the Chelsea chop on it too. It's pretty, it hasn't spread, but it is pretty large. Look at all the pollinator activity here. This aster is called Purple Dome. It gets about 18 inches high. You know, you plant it 20 inches apart. Blooms late summer to late fall. Full sun to mostly sunny. Zone 3 through 8. Can handle clay, which is good for me. And obviously this beautiful dark purple is a real showstopper. It's a nice dwarf variety, New England aster. Rich purple mound of daisy-like blooms with yellow centers that are, this is kind of faded at this point. You can't really see it too well. And the bees are all over it. Asters are certainly one of the stars in the fall garden. So this one, I believe, is Aster Woods Purple. Nice daisy-like blooms, again, dark green foliage. This does look a little bit like my Purple Dome, but I'm pretty sure it's different, because I know I had two different ones, zone 4 through 8, but they're really a mainstay in the fall garden, obviously. And if you pinch back the stems several times before like mid-July, it helps control the height of the plant, which is great. So this one is Woods Purple. This aster is a Stokesia called Honeysong Purple Stokes aster. Typically gets, you know, like 14 inches high. It doesn't spread, it clumps up. Likes full sun, low water needs. My area is kind of wet, actually, to tell you the truth. Great cut flowers, attracts butterflies, but beautiful bright purple flowers with a red tint, contrasting white stamens. It's just beautiful. Like I said, the butterflies love this, and it's hardy to zone 5. Now I have 6 plants. They have pretty much, at this point, I've started cutting them back. Let me pull out here a little bit so you can see I have those, and I have another, whoops, let me see if I can get out of my shadow. I have another 3 here, and they're pretty much at this point, like I said, they're kind of bloomed out at this point. Sorry if I'm not getting that in focus. That's Stokes aster, really pretty, different, something different you don't see every day. So let's talk about mums now. Now, there are different kinds of mums, so whether you prefer, you know, the hybrid mums or the heirloom type blooms, I'm pretty sure everybody can agree that that fall color is so important at the end of the season, whatever type you're growing. So I wanted to talk about the difference a little bit between the two kinds of mums. So heirloom mums can be propagated while hybrid ones cannot. That's because hybrid plants are patented. So let's talk a little bit further. So heirloom mums are old-fashioned chrysanthemums. So they vary and differentiate themselves from the common grocery store kind of button mums that you see. They're very sturdy, often perennial. They can tolerate cooler temperatures, and they have strong stems, which make them very valuable for florists. And since they're no longer under patent, they can be freely propagated. So they have very unique flower forms and colors that you don't find in your commercial varieties. And they can last in a vase for sometimes a couple of weeks. So they're a very durable cut flower, and they can handle some frost. A lot of the rediscovered varieties are just old, long lost varieties with all the, new patenting and stuff that's going on with the hybrid mums. Very diverse range of textures and colors, from very simple open face flowers, you'll see some that I have, to very complex multi-layered blooms, most of which of mine are not open yet. Now, obviously, there's a place for both the heirloom mums and the hybrids, and I have both. And as you'll see here, hybrid mums, are the cornerstone of the retail mum market, and you see them literally everywhere in the fall, and you see them, in grocery stores and, at all your corner farmer markets. But the heirloom mums are totally different style. Both kinds of mums are totally suitable for cut flowers, but heirloom chrysanthemums, they vary greatly in form. And these are long lost flowers that you really can't find anymore unless you go through a specialty collector. And that's where I've gotten some of mine. Mums are classified primarily by their flower form into different categories. Now, there are a bunch. You can do some research on this if you're really interested in it, but I'm going to kind of just go through a list. There are anemone types, your like disc florets, the brush thistle mums, the decorative mums, the irregular incurve mums, intermediate incurve mums, regular incurve mums, pom-pom mums, quill mums, you'll see a few of those, reflex mums, single and semi-double mums, spider mums, spoon mums, and exotic unclassified types of mums. Again, basically your incurve, your reflex, your decorative, your pom-pom, your single-double, anemone, your quilled, and your spider. This heirloom mum is called chiffon. Chrysanthemums are really just absolute queens of the fall flowers. Few plants really can rival their beautiful fall color for sure. They're very showy, and they last till, a really killing frost. They can get pretty big, but they're very easy to grow. They like well-drained soil. Good drainage is important. You can divide them in spring if you need to, which is always really nice. Like I said, this is chiffon. Most of the heirloom mums are zones like 5 through 9. They love full sun, obviously. And, they are typically anywhere from 18 to 36 inches tall, typically. This is a beautiful soft apricot color, which is not the description of chiffon, which actually says it's kind of a ivory petal with a yellow surround. Mine are very pink. Here's another close-up. The bees are like going crazy on the dahlias. These are the floret dahlias right here that I saved from last year, but you can see every one of them is covered with bumblebees. And get over here. I mean, they are so busy. They don't care that I'm standing here, that's for sure. Now, some of my mums have not opened up yet. This is Coral Cavalier, and I've got to say it's one of my favorites. Really nice large flowers with shades of like rose to rust. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's pretty tall. It can get like 3 feet tall, and mine is 3 feet tall. Blooms, it says, in theory, early fall to late fall, but this has been a weird year. It hasn't bloomed yet. Full sun, zones 5 through 9. I absolutely love this burst of color in my garden. Oh, it's so hard to walk around and not stop and show you everything. There's a monarch here on the toad lily. Not sure if you could see him. Anyway, let's try to walk down. Let me show you some more heirloom mums. Again, the firelight hydrangeas are gorgeous. Still have some Russian sage going in here. Let's keep going. I get constantly distracted. I'm sorry. My husband says the same thing. Still have some betony right there. Again, I'm always keeping my eyes and ears out for bears. This is one of my favorites, and it's not quite open yet. This is fall charm. You can see how big this plant is. I have a pretty tall support on it. Fall charm, not blooming yet. I don't know why. Gorgeous. One of my absolute favorites is a very large flowered garden mum. The center petals are like a gold, and you can see then it's a deep lavender on the exterior petals. Just superb flowers, blooms for weeks once it's blooming. Very reliable plant. Grew well in the last couple of years. I've had it for a few years already. This is zone 5 through 9, 2 to 3 feet tall, definitely, for sure. And mine is actually in part shade, and it is supposed to be in full sun. Absolutely love this. Again, attracts butterflies, good cut flowers. I've got to say that about all the heirloom mums. They are great cut flowers, deer resistant, very long blooming. So I have 2 more over here. And, sorry, because I keep cutting them. That's why I'm trying to get out to actually show you what these look like. This is Homecoming, a really beautiful. It's yellow on the recurve, and then that soft apricot on the outside. And what you're seeing in the background there is our vole and chipmunk traps, because they just decimate things. Now this is Cheerleader, and there's another one back here called October Glory, which is not. Look how big October Glory is. Just getting ready to open up. But here is Cheerleader. This one, so pretty. Zones 5 through 9 on Cheerleader. No, 3 through 9, I'm sorry. Really tall. Again, it says 3 feet tall, but I'm 5'4", and this is taller than I am, and I have it all tied up. Just gigantic copper orange corsage type blooms. Let's get closer there. I'm trying to find one that's really open for you. What I will say about this is it's a little floppy, and I have it tied up to this tower, but these 2 are so big that even though I have gigantic towers on these things, they're not quite holding them. I really got to get in there better early in the year. I have plain the blue salvia in front of this, so obviously I can't get too close to it because I got pollinators everywhere. Let's see if I can zoom that a little bit. It's just beautiful and makes a great cut flower. So the other one I mentioned, October Glory, is not blooming yet. It's just as big as Cheerleader. And it's a single daisy type of chrysanthemum, zone 5 through 9. Again, really pretty, great cut flower. Usually, with its peach to apricot daisy-like flowers with the yellow, center there. It lasts all fall. Things are a little weirdly late this year. So this is October Glory. Hopefully it'll bloom soon. Check out the toad lily. Oops. All right, let's walk around to the front where we have some more. Oh, did I miss French vanilla? This is my favorite. Look at that. It's that soft cream, that pale apricot starts opening in the middle. This is pretty tall, pretty big. I think I've mentioned this to you many, many times. I absolutely love French vanilla. Just some specs on French vanilla. I mean, typically it's supposed to get like 1.5 to 2 feet tall. Mine's way taller than that. It's like a pale yellow that fades to a white on the outer petals. The petals are elongated, slightly ruffled, which gives it a really nice little texture. Pretty green foliage. French vanilla is definitely my absolute favorite of all of the heirloom mums I've bought over the years. Dahlias. Okay, I'm getting distracted. I'm sorry. Let's walk around. Still have a few annuals here. This is Pearl Glam Beautyberry. I showed the other one in the last video. This one has a really nice dark leaf, and the berries are purple like the amethyst, but they start out that pretty white. So let's get up here. I've been making a few changes here and there, moving things around a little bit. So let's walk. We don't usually walk up this way. You can see the 9-barks in the back over there. Lilacs, persicaria right there. The nice huge salixes. I took 2 knockout roses from in there and moved them out where I have my annuals typically, because they were just crowding the tough stuff hydrangeas like crazy in there. Still have lots of blooms on the quickfire hydrangeas. Let me stop for a second. But right next to it is centerpiece. Let me try and get out of the sun if that's possible. So typically like 2 feet tall. Mine are definitely taller than that. Just that really pretty pinky lavender kind of color with the quill type leaves. Has good frost resistance. This has been blooming forever, for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's a great cut flower also. Like I said, the light is brutal. Sorry, really trying to get these things though while they're blooming pretty nice so you can actually see them. So again, you can see I have a support here, and I have another one behind it that hasn't started yet. I'm hoping I can get the other ones in bloom for you, but if I can't, I'm just going to pop pictures on the screen and show you the other ones I have. The one behind centerpiece is Purple Light, and it's supposed to be an early season bloomer. I don't know if it's just not getting enough light, but it hasn't bloomed yet, and it's certainly not early season. It's supposed to get like 3 to 3.5 feet tall with like 3-inch blooms in this really bright purple that becomes like a paler mauve, but you can see the center is that nice little gold. A large texture, kind of disc-shaped flower. And the flowers are supposed to increase in size throughout the season. Like I said, I'm a little disappointed it hasn't bloomed yet. I was really hoping this would be open when the hibiscus perfect storm was blooming, because it just finished blooming and it would have been so complimentary to that, but best laid plans. Another mum that has not yet bloomed that's supposed to be an early season bloomer is Harry Anderton. It's supposed to be 4 feet tall, 3-inch blooms. Starts off pink with like hints of mauve and then fades to like a pale blush, almost nearly white. It's supposed to be it looks like it would be a great filler flower for arrangements. I did see a thing that said when there's light at night, the mums might not bloom. And this is near my lamppost. So maybe that's why it hasn't bloomed yet. I don't know. Obviously, you can see I love the pinks. I just hope they all bloom. This mum is Helen May, and it's just starting to open, so I thought I could capture this for you. I have another one right behind it called Jefferson Park that hasn't opened yet. But Helen May can get 18 to 36 inches tall, beautiful soft petal pink, full sun to mostly sunny, zones 5 through 9. Again, attracts butterflies, good cut flowers, deer resistant, long blooming. Plant them 16 inches apart. I absolutely love the heirloom mums. I don't think at this time of the year you can really go wrong with these. And when Jefferson Park opens, I'll capture that one. Okay, I'm giving up on waiting for some of these and I want to show them to you. So Jefferson Park, oh my God, I can't wait to see this. Again, it's supposed to be an early to mid-season bloomer. I don't know why some of these are not blooming, but again, we had that super hot, super wet, super hot. It's just been a very weird year. A regular incurve style bloom, supposed to be 4 feet tall, 4-inch blooms. You can see it's a serious showstopper. Lavender pink blooms with a slightly golden center that fades into, pink petals. Supposed to be very vigorous, very large, showy flower. I cannot wait to see Jefferson Park. I hope I see it this year. Another gorgeous pink that I want to open. It is starting, this is in bud at least. I don't even know how to say this properly. Coca Hikuku, Hougiku, has an irregular incurved bloom. Blooms are large and showy, reaches 3 to 4 feet across. Supposed to, again, be early to mid-season. It's very weird that my early flowers are not opening on time and can get 4 feet tall. It's supposed to be a real stunning flower. I can't wait to see this, and it's in my front yard. So if it opens, I will show it to you. It's got that lush lavender pink tone, long sturdy stems, and very dense petals. Going to be great in flower arrangements. This mum is yellow quill. Gets like 14 to 24 inches tall. Full sun, late summer, to early fall bloom. So this is my first one to bloom, actually. Nice, clear, yellow, tubular petals, dark green foliage, deer-resistant zone 3 through 9. This plant, because it started so early, is pretty much on its way out at this point. I've been cutting it back, deadheading it, and that does seem to help. The light here is kind of harsh, so sorry. This is Jessica Louise, but it's blooming absolutely beautiful. Pale pink petals, blushed with that deeper pink. It is gorgeous. It provides blooms for like 6 to 8 weeks in the fall. Absolutely one of my favorites, Jessica Louise. So Jessica Louise is typically like 24 to 36 inches tall. Early fall to late fall bloom, full sun again. And this one is actually zones 5 through 9. Just wanted to get you a close up there. It's so beautiful. So this gorgeous mum that also hasn't bloomed yet is River City. It's pretty tall, but it hasn't bloomed yet. It's supposed to get 4 feet tall, and I think it probably will. A mid-season bloomer, a regular incurved bloom style. The coloring is beautiful. It's like a sherbety peach, yellow, kind of sunset-y looking. So hopefully this will, hopefully some of these will really open soon. And I have this paired with another one called Safina that I will show you. Let's do that one right now. So right next to it, I have Safina. This is a mid to late season bloomer. Again, it's not open yet, but it's got that quill style bud. Again, tall, 4 to 5 feet tall, but pretty large blooms, like 4.5-inch blooms. So the center, has that bright green tone, and it fades to yellow and orange over time, sort of like a flame. Long stems, supposed to be very productive, and it holds its shape and great in arrangements. So again, I've got so many that haven't bloomed yet. Now, one thing you want to remember, I did mention pinching back heirloom mums and other mums, asters also. You really don't want to pinch them back by after the 4th of July. So you can pinch them back until then. You can pinch them back at least by half. So this is Ruby Brightheart. I have this in my dry creek bed area. A little shorter, 18 to 36 inches tall, beautiful, soft yellow that fades as it to the outer petals. Zones 5 through 9, early fall to late fall, plants 16 inches apart. This is Ruby Brightheart. Here's another mid to late bloomer, thistle style bloom, like 3.5 feet tall, 1-inch fluffy blooms. And this is called Sago no Yuki. I have this next to my Mount Hood dahlia, which is white. So again, very kind of dainty looking. These blooms are pure white, about 1 inch long. And again, a really nice cut flower, perfect for fall arrangements. And again, I was hoping this would be blooming at the same time as my Mount Hood dahlias. It is in bud, so we'll see if we can get this open sooner or later. But a warm, creamy white. This heirloom mum is sparkling grape. Very large lavender rose flowers that open wide to frilled incurved center petals with a slight twist, and it reveals a silver white on the reverse. And I'm reading you the description because this is a brand new one for me, and it just started to open. I have a couple more coming here, which is really nice. Like I said, it just opened, and this is early October. Now this one can get pretty tall. It can get 3 feet tall. Like I said, this is a brand new this year, so it's not all that big. Plant them 16 inches apart. Full sun grows zones 5 through 9, medium water, normal soil. Attracts butterflies, good cut flower, deer resistant, and really long blooming. Again, this is sparkling grape. And you can see my labels. Like I said, they never delaminate. They don't rust. They last forever. I don't know if that's good or bad, but since I'm always changing things. This beauty is Trinket. It's a cushion mum. Really showy, pretty, soft pink petals with that gold center. Look how pretty this is. I don't think this is actually sold anymore. Get 16 to 24 inches tall, plants 16 inches apart, full sun, zones 5 through 9. Again, attracts butterflies, good cut flowers, deer resistant, long blooming. Same old, same old, same old. And check out Diva Dahlia right next to it. Isn't that pretty? Diva's one of my favorites. Couldn't walk by without showing you Eustacia Vi blooming. It is so pretty. They're still blooming. They've slowed down, but they're starting to pick up again. One more unrelated thing. This is monkshood, just started blooming. It's very poisonous, so just be advised, and some scenes from fall. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, hit that like button. It really does make a difference. And I'll see you in the next video. And please leave me your comments. Let me know what are your favorite fall perennials. I thought I'd leave you with some scenes of fall. I don't know if a lot of you know, I've done landscape and travel photography for many, many years. So I thought I'd just leave you with some pictures if you want to look at some fall scenes. Enjoy the fall.